From St. Joseph, Missouri, here is Travis Lee Hartman.
Travis, smile for the camera, please. That's better. Welcome to another episode of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. A rapper once said it's a drip, drip, drop. Here goes an eargasm for your ears. We talk boxing, politics, sports, whatever comes to mind. We have a good time. We drink some bourbon, sometimes rye, sometimes whatever. Here we are today, folks. We have a lot of good stuff for you today. That over there is Travis Hartman. I'm Brandon Waters. I know you can't tell because our beards are covered. Travis, I think we're safe. Are we socially distanced?
I'm already tired of it. I need a drink.
Oh, there we are. There we are. It's good to see you all. Once again, if you have not yet done so, please give us a subscribe, a like, a thumb up. Follow our podcast on iTunes, on Spotify, everywhere you can find your iTunes or your podcast. We are there. Also follow us on YouTube, please, if you want to see our bright, shiny faces, talk about boxing, talk about life, and just whatever whimsical ideas come to mind.
Or if you want to see Travis's new shirt.
Are we going there?
New and latest shirt.
I feel like we're going there too early every time. You're going past my notes.
I mean, we just spitball, whatever. Like, I literally ruin your notes. Like, you have a set thing right there to it. You're so professional, and I appreciate it. And then I just come in and just, like, jump all over it.
Which is perfect. That's what people want to see. They want to see me get disrupted for you. Let's just do it now. Guys,
but Brandon,
guys and gals, take a look. This is the travesty for this week. The Travis travesty.
Oh, the travesty. I like
the
it.
Travis T. See, look at we're
good,
coming up with stuff on the fly.
You're really smart, I feel like.
I don't know. I think I'm just lucky sometimes.
But we had to wait for this to start recording. This literally just came in.
Amazon I know, and we're recording now on Saturday. It's about 11:30 p.m. I don't know. It's not even 7. It's almost 7 o'clock. But anyways, thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, they came through. Yeah.
Anyways, we're once again here, not live to you, but live to us from the TH Boxing Facility here in Lake Nona, Orlando, Florida.
Holla, Laureate Park.
So we want to give a shout out to the Laureate Park Bourbon Society. If any of you ever catch us, we're drinking some stuff. We'll talk about that probably after the break. But Travis, we can ramble all day long. I think the viewers are here to listen and check out some boxing news or some of our thoughts on that. So Travis, what are we weighing in on today?
But first, since we're wearing the mask, because the masks are all about the big C, we have to shoot for it.
We're going straight there?
We have to shoot for it, though, because it's the beginning. We have to shoot for it.
Okay, so...
And I want some credit for last week.
Credit where credit's due, and I think I even did it last week, gave you credit. Travis made the shot. The shot heard around the world was from there to there.
It's harder than it looks, guys, because I've missed it every week except last week. Episode 9 was epic.
It's a tiny little hoop that every 9-year-old in the world has, hanging in their room, right? And it's hard to shoot, no matter what. That's my excuse.
Why you gotta call me a 9-year-old? Like,
I didn't call you a 9-year-old.
I like it, Brandon. Like, why do I gotta be 9? Because I have a mini basketball. I like my toys.
So far you've made 1 during these podcasts. Can we make it 2 in a row?
I mean, I'm gonna try. Remember, no warm up.
Let's take some bets. Anybody, if you think Travis is gonna make this, give us a like. If you think he's gonna, no. Let me go back. If you think he's gonna miss it, give us a like. If you think he's gonna make it, give us a dislike.
Okay, you want to play those games? You want to play hardball?
Okay. All right, Poppy. All right. What's that supposed to be?
I have no idea.
All right, here we go.
Whoa, money!
No
Dude.
way!
That was money!
There was no backboard.
That was money!
All right, so if you're... Okay.
I'm getting good. I'm just saying.
Here we go.
Make fun of me for being 9 years old again.
Well,
wait. We have to talk about what it's for...
Well, here's what I'm going to say is that this is our first take. We don't just stop and edit anything. That's it. That was the first shot he's taken the whole time.
First shot.
I was setting the podcast up. I was eating my dinner, and he has not taken one shot. That's probably,
swear to God.
That's the highlight, and we're going to see the YouTube watching start to dwindle from there. That was the peak of the episode.
Right after that, they're like, "We're done." That's like, it's not going to get more exciting than that.
So that's
sorry.
2 weeks in a row. Good job, Travis. What that means, so for those that have been following us and watching at home,
What do we have for him, Brandon?
Well, I said we, but it's really him. He shoots a shot every week. And when we mention the big C word, which we'll get into in a second, if he missed it...
Which is why we wear the masks, is what we're talking
Yep.
about. That C word.
If he misses it, we have to do 10 push-ups every time the C word is mentioned, the big C. And if he makes it, which has only happened last week and this week, amazingly.
Back to back.
It's
the
only
shirt. It's got to be the shirt.
It's only 5. Now, because I'm a good producer, I will tend to then say the big C word more than once just to make up for that lack of push-ups.
Brandon's push-up king right now.
Not really the king, but I am doing the 25 each day for PTSD awareness. I have yet to tag you to that.
I know. I've been watching.
I know, but somebody else told me that they were going to tag you, so I've been laying off.
Oh, no.
Anyways,
if I'm tagged, I'll do them.
That's a side step.
We're just trying to make the world healthier and better by this, right?
And being aware. So for us, and we know a lot of people affected by this, PTSD is a very serious deal, and it's important for us to draw awareness to it. Also, find organizations to donate your time and money and efforts to, because it's real. Not just for our troops, but our servicewomen and men and others outside of those fields. It is a legit issue in our country. So we want to draw attention to it. And I know it's kind of tongue-in-cheek when I do the push-ups on Facebook, if you're following me on Facebook. But you also, it's important for us to shine a light on that, which I think far too often in our country and our society gets overlooked.
Absolutely, I think so too.
That's my little commercial with that. We'll say the big C stuff a little bit later. My gosh, I can't believe you made that.
I can't either. Let's be honest. Like I do think that I'm a pretty good basketball player. But that's Brandon. It's meant to be. Tell me it's meant to be. Like, I'm just in a good mood today. That's what it was. I was in a super good mood. It's Saturday. We're just chilling. This is weekend. This is a different Trav. Like, I'm telling you, people don't realize this now. I grind hard during the week. Weekend Trav comes out, and he's just like, I can take a breath, and I'm like, I'm about to live life.
Who's a good basketball player right now? Because I'm not watching the NBA or anything. Who's a good basketball player? Doesn't matter. They couldn't make that shot twice.
Travis Hartman.
Of
the Orlando TH Boxing Facility.
Gotcha. All right, Travis Hartman, we've deviated enough. Give the boxing fans what they want to hear about. Let's talk. What are we weighing in on today?
I think we're going on the schedule, Brandon.
Okay.
What boxing matches do we have coming up as of big-time boxing matches? That's what I like to talk about, the big-time boxing matches. There's a lot of – and that's what – first of all, I want everybody to know that there's some big-time boxing matches.
Right.
But there's also a ton of boxing matches happening right now. Like, right now, there's boxing matches happening in Daytona, Florida. So that's like a really cool thing to think about, is that boxing is back. Boxing has been back, actually, because of the big C. I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it yet.
I'm not going to say it yet.
I got to loosen up.
I know, man. It's kind of like... I'm just now a little bit loose after that shot, though. But
well, you also had a good training session earlier today. I watched you and Adrian go at it for a little bit, so that was good.
It felt really, really good. And off on another tangent, I love to be able to still train with my fighters, because I know that he feeds off of that stuff, because a lot of trainers out there are fat, out of shape, they don't eat right, they don't do anything. You know what, though? Not me. Like, I train my butt off, and whatever I ask them to go through, I've either done it or I will do it with them. And that's what I love about what I do. I love boxing. I love training people. And I know Adrian appreciates that, but just a little Saturday morning sweat session. I haven't had it for a little while, so I've been a little exhausted after some of my days in the gym, so I don't get to work out that much by myself. So to be able to have like some freedom Saturday, I did it.
I'll be joining you guys soon. I had to run a 5K, a virtual 5K for
Well, you probably did more than we did then.
What?
Well, you probably did more than we did, though.
3 1/8 of a mile. It's not a big deal.
It's a big deal to me, Brandon, because I appreciate
You're a professional athlete, Travis.
I was a professional athlete. Oh, well,
you still are, technically.
It hasn't been officially
all right. We can dive into that some other time. But I digress. So we talked pre-production because we mentioned in a few weeks here and there different big fights coming up to round out the rest of the year. So we want to talk about a couple over the next 3 months that drove our eyeballs to it, and I think it's going to be pretty good for the fans to see and whatnot. So we're going to start here in September. Today is September 5th. By the time you're seeing or hearing this, it's probably the 6th or 7th. I know there's some fights this weekend. We're not going to touch those, but we do want to talk about on the 19th. We have Erickson Lubin.
Yeah.
fighting Terrell Geisha, and that's on Showtime. So, Travis, let's go ahead and kind of give your breakdown or your thoughts there, and we'll just kind of move on.
Yeah, the story about Erickson Lubin is actually from Orlando. He trained here for most of his career, and now he still actually comes back. He trains at a gym downtown Orlando that's called School of Hard Knocks, which is it's a solid gym. He's still he'll come up every once in a while and still train with him. So he didn't leave them, but he is down. I believe it's in West Palm Beach now with Kevin Cunningham, who's actually a St. Louis, Missouri guy, who used to train Devin Alexander and some other world champions. So I always got my Missouri connections, and people make fun of me all the time, but I always point out when there's a Missouri person doing something well. And Kevin Cunningham trains Erickson Lubin. So Kevin Cunningham is a good trainer, but Lubin is fighting this Terrell Geisha on Showtime, and it is supposed to be kind of, I personally think it's supposed to be a setup for Jermell Charlo rematch, because Lubin's only loss as a professional was a highlight reel knockout loss, though. It was bad. I think it was the first or second round. It was bad. He got caught clean and just folded. So, but he's a phenomenal talent, though. It was one of those deals where it was just right on the button.
How long ago was that?
That's been, 3+ years ago, probably.
Okay, so he's since
Lubin's been working his way back
Yeah.
up. Yeah, he's on a good little win streak. He hasn't lost. He's only lost once, and it was to Jermell Charlo. So I think actually I want to say it's been 2.5 to 3 years since they last fought. And since then, Charlo has went on to be a world champion, defending his title and all of that. So it's making it interesting, and that's what boxing needs. Is we need those interesting bouts that people are they get to see these guys come back from a loss and try to avenge that. And Lubin, by all means, could avenge that loss. Even though he was knocked out in the first round, you see a first round knockout, you're like, oh my gosh, it's not going to be close. Lubin can fight. Lubin can fight. And this guy that he's fighting, Geisha, is a solid guy, but I know that it's a setup fight, meaning Lubin's supposed to win, and he's supposed to look good doing it. Even though Geisha is good, this guy's really good. I think he's lost one fight. He's 20-something and 1. So, he's good, obviously. I'm not trying to discredit him, but ultimately what they want to see is Lubin win, so they can probably set up another Charlo fight, which would be exciting. Not going to lie. I mean, he got knocked out in the first round, but everybody that watched that fight, that was a 50-50 fight with Charlo and Lubin when that went in. And the fact that Charlo knocked him out in the first round was shocking for everybody, because that was legit a 50-50 fight. That was a fight that if I was weighing in on that fight before it happened, I couldn't tell you who was going to win that fight. I would have probably flipped a coin and been like, okay, I think Charlo's going to win, or I think that Lubin's going to win, because it was legit a 50-50 fight, which is a pick-em fight.
So it's interesting you bring up Charlo, because literally the week after, we're talking the week after, we have both Charlo brothers fighting on Showtime pay-per-view. And I know there's some other stuff to talk about with one of them, but let's lead into that. Let's see here. I'm sorry, but one of them is fighting some guy that I can't even pronounce that last name. It is about 67 letters long.
Davichenko.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we have that, and then his brother. I didn't write down who he's fighting, but both on the Showtime pay-per-view card on the 26th of September.
Yep.
So if the promoters are putting their hats on and they want to see possibly a run it back with Lubin and Charlo, well, you get a back-to-back week look at both of those guys.
That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to set it up.
Yeah, hopefully Lubin wins, and hopefully Charlo wins, and here we go. So talk me through that card on the 26th of September.
So it's Jermell Charlo who Lubin lost to. It's Jermell because there's two. They're brothers, obviously. Jermell and Jermal. Not confusing at all.
That wasn't confusing growing up.
Not at all. So Jermell Charlo.
They're not twins, or they're just brothers. They're not twins.
No, they're twins.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, Jermell and Jermal.
Okay,
yeah. But you know what? That's a very interesting topic, though, too, because they didn't really get the spotlight on them from the news and the media and all that, because people said, and this happened to the Klitschko brothers as well. People said, they were like, people can't disseminate who's who, because they look alike. Jermell and Jermal, they literally look alike. They're twins.
I'm telling you, parents of twins or triplets or whatever, don't do that. Yeah. Just have separate names. Don't be cute and have the one letter.
It's too late
difference.
for that now. It's too late for that.
But just in general, not the boxing, these guys, but other stuff. If you're expecting kids, if you're expecting twins or triplets, don't be cute. Have them all have their own absolute individual personality, rather than you have I can't think of an example, but you have, I don't know,
I don't know.
Jamel and Jamal.
There you go. That's the example.
That's the only example we have right now.
I just gave you credit for being so smart
It's on the
and
fly.
witty.
I'm not very smart. I'm not witty
But I mean,
at
that's a
all.
good example because it is those two. But what the point was that the Showtime and TV really didn't get on board with these kids early because of that simple fact that the fans they didn't know who to jump on board with, and people confuse them all the time. I'm in the boxing game. I love the boxing game. It's very difficult to disseminate who's who. Like, it's Jermell and Jermal, literally. Jermell, though, however, has one loss now. Jermal is undefeated still. So
there you go.
that's how you can do it for now until the other one loses.
That's like one having a different hairstyle.
What if the other one loses, though? Then they're both 1-1 again.
Yeah.
Or one loss. So
let's talk about the fights they have, and then let's talk about a Travis story tied to one of them as well.
I do, and mine's to Jermal.
Okay, so let's talk. If you can see if you have those fights pulled up, kind of your thoughts.
Yeah, Jermel's fighting Jason Rosario, which 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Very solid opponent. But again, even though the guy's a solid opponent, he's only got 1 loss, they're also set-up fights again. They're set-up fights, meaning it's a dangerous fight, though, for Charlos because they know that it's not a blockbuster fight. They're not making big-time money for this. They're trying to set this up, get him some viewership because Lubin's fighting the week before, and Jamel fought Lubin. So Jamel, who's got the 1 loss, fought Lubin, knocked Lubin out. So they're just trying to get him on TV as much as they can right now because they're trying to – I believe – this isn't out there, but I think it's what they're doing. Why else would they fight back-to-back weekends? Same networks. So they're trying to set it up. They know they are. And if Lubin is who I think he is, he wants that fight back. Like, if you got knocked out by this guy when you were touted as the next, like, superstar in that division, and then you get knocked out, like, you want that fight back. So they're trying to promote that fight for sure. And boxing needs fights like that. So I believe that Jermell will definitely win over Rosario for sure. I don't see him losing. I don't, but it's boxing. Anything can happen, but I'm going to go ahead and go with confidently Jermell's going to win that fight. And who knows if Lubin wins his fight the weekend before, I have no doubt that why they shouldn't fight their next fights.
Sure.
And that's the cool thing about boxing is you can usually know when guys are trying to set up a fight because if they fight so close together, you know they're trying to have them on path because most boxers only fight 2, maybe 3 times a year. So if one of these guys fight and the other guy doesn't fight for another 2 to 3 months, you know that fight's not happening soon because they both are going to have their time off or maybe another fight in between. But when they're literally weekend apart, they're setting something up.
Right.
That's when you know. If you're an average fan, just know that when they fight that close together, they're trying to set something up. Or even the same night, they'll do that sometimes. They'll fight them on the same card even. You know they're setting something up later because boxers usually need time to heal between fights. So if there's 2 to 3 months between one of these guys fighting, you know they're not going to fight for 6 to 12 months after that.
So we should be listening to the post-fight. We want to hear someone say something and call somebody out. So let's pivot to his brother then.
Yep.
And talk that fight.
He's fighting this Davichenko. Not a bad guy. Like, not a bad guy. I think that Jermal should win that fight. He should, by all means. And I believe if I'm right about Davichenko, he's a lefty even, I think. I got to make sure of that, but I'm pretty sure that he is. I know that I should know all these little intricacies.
You really should, Travis.
But Davichenko he's a guy that nobody's really heard of, but I've heard of him, and I should know, but I'm pretty positive that he's a lefty. And regardless of that, he's a tough fighter. So, again, Jermal is supposed to win. However, I do have a story about Jermal. Back February 2010, I believe even the date was like February 25th. I think I remember it. I do, actually. That's crazy that I remember that. It would have been February 25th, 2010. I was supposed to fight Jermall Charlo on ESPN, a Golden Boy Oscar De La Hoya card. Well, February 19th of 2010, I was driving to the hospital to get my physical for the fight. Like, because you have to get pre-fight physicals, you have to do meds, you have to do blood tests, you have to do all that stuff. So I was literally, that's the funny story of it, I was actually going to the hospital, and I got in a car wreck before I got there. I was driving in a diesel. It overturned, covering both lanes, and I was the first car to come up on it. It was snowing, and I was the first car. It's February in Missouri. Of course it was snowing. So I was the first car to come up on that, and I stopped. I skidded a little bit, but I saw it plenty ahead of time, so I slowed down. We're talking about 65 miles per hour, and I slowed down to about 5. And before I knew it, I glanced over to the left, and a car just smashed into me, and I had my head just slightly turned. Boom, whiplashed me pretty good. I actually ended up going to the doctor. This is the crazy story. I probably should have sued for a lot. I went to the doctor because I was like, I feel fine. Like, I'm already going to the doctor. I was like, so I went to the doctor. I had an appointment with my doctor. And I was like, hey, just a heads up. I need a physical and all that stuff for the boxing match. He was like, but I just got in a car wreck. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. And I told him about it. He put me through a full-on physical. Like, I was doing jumping jacks. And I told him ahead of time. I was just like, and my mom worked for the doctor, so, like, I don't have any ill feelings about that. But I look back now, and I'm like, wow, like, that probably wasn't smart.
No, not at all.
So, like, he put me through this full-on physical. I passed the physical. That's the crazy part. I passed the physical. But as the days went on, like, 2 days later, I woke up, and my hands and my feet were numb. And I called my mom. I literally, when I dialed the phone, I had to pick it up in my palm, and I dialed it with my nose because my hands and my feet were numb. It was crazy. I woke up and I was like, this isn't good. So that was like on a Monday. It was a Sunday or Monday when I got in the wreck. So that Wednesday, I was supposed to leave on a flight to Texas to fight Charlo. So like that Tuesday morning, I wake up and that happens, and I call my mom like, something's wrong, Mom. Like, I need to go back to the doctor. Like, they missed something. I got it on speakerphone now. I'm like, my hands and my feet are numb. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I'm coming home, of course, which was fine. I go back to the doctor, and, it wasn't anything, serious. Like, I didn't have any spinal stuff like that, but I had some problems in my neck that was pinching some nerves and everything else. So, obviously, now they were like, Trav, like, we're sorry, but, like, you can't fight, bro. Like, you cannot fight. Like, this is Tuesday. You're leaving Wednesday. And I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to, like, are you kidding me? They're like, dude, you got to take some more tests. You got to do all this stuff. So I had to call Golden Boy and pull out from a fight. And when you pull out from a big fight like that, it's hard to replace that.
Yeah.
Find another opponent on that shorter notice. And I burned a bridge for a second because Golden Boy, they didn't believe me at first because I was just like, guys, like, I got in a car wreck going to the hospital. And at first, because they know me, because I'm a pretty honest guy, and they know me, and he was like, you okay? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you got a police report or anything? And I was like, yeah, there's all of this. Like, I went to the doctor, I went to the hospital. Like, I told them the whole story, and they still were just kind of like, they were acting funny with me. And I was just like, guys, like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, I want to fight. Like, it was a good payday too. Like, I was like, I want to fight. So long story short, I didn't fight. And then I didn't fight for 2.5 years after that because of the car wreck.
Jeez.
So from 2010, and then I ended up fighting again in 2012. After I finally was just like, I was listening to doctors for like 2.5 years, and finally I was just like, you guys are wrong. Literally, that's exactly what I said. I was like, you guys are wrong. And I was like, I need to talk to somebody else. And I ended up seeing a doctor who was like in his mid-30s. And I went to him. He checked me out and everything. And he was like, listen, Travis, he goes, you have some damage to your neck. Some. He goes, you do, because you've been boxing your whole life, so you have damage to your neck, obviously. And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, but, like, can I not fight ever again? He goes, I'll tell you this. He goes, all these other doctors were trying to protect their butts, for sure. He was like, listen, you are at no more risk fighting still than anybody else. He's like, boxing is very risky. He's like, so yes, you're still at risk. He goes, but the way your neck is, he's like, all you're going to do is age it even more, what you're going to do. He said that I had a neck of a 40-year-old already, and I was like 25. So he told me that. I was just like, I was like, I'm fine. I've never had neck problems before.
So what you had the doctors, because on the way into this whole situation, they were wrong. They were covering their butts because they probably, just like you joked about, like you probably should have done something or sued for a lot of money. They recognize that. That's the first thing they think of.
Yeah, for sure.
It's how it was misdiagnosed or not even handled appropriately. So
I did a full-on physical. I was doing jumping jacks, and I had a neck problem. I just got in a car wreck.
Just were in a car accident.
It was fine, though.
I mean, that's unfortunately that industry, especially on doctors and practices, rather than if you actually speak to, anyways, they are going to cover their butts a bit more.
Yeah.
Well, we talk about the coronavirus
stuff.
My
gosh.
We'll just hold on. We'll just kind of make a mark here.
That's 5 push-ups if anybody's paying attention.
So
we should have a counter that pops up right here.
If you know you came into contact with somebody, and obviously in today's day and age, depending on when you're watching or listening to this, if you contact your practitioner or your doctor, they're going to immediately say, you need to hurry up and get a test, hurry up and get a test. If you came into contact with someone today, they're going to say that.
Yep.
When in reality, when you actually listen to more people that are boots on the ground, it's no, you typically is best to wait about 4 or 5 days before getting tested.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't necessarily show up right away. And then it's a bigger discussion of, well, okay, what are we aiming to actually see on this test that you haven't?
What do the politics say that we're supposed to say?
I don't know. It depends on the politician.
Exactly. That's my whole point. Like that's why I was more. I listened to the doctors. I genuinely did, because my mom worked for a doctor. She's been in that field for a long time. So like I listened to them begrudgingly. They told me that I couldn't work out, not just box. They said you can't run on a treadmill, you can't do jumping jacks, you can't do jump rope, you can't do anything that's going to jar you. For 2 years, Brandon. Talk about PTSD. I was depressed. I got depressed. I literally was 25, 26, should have been the peak of my career, the height of my career. And I've been boxing since I was 6 years old.
They
said,
robbed you of at least a year.
They said nothing, Travis. And I put on like 30 pounds. I weighed 172, and I just fought at 140. You act like that's nothing much, but I was at 140 before that.
I know, but I would love. No, I wouldn't, because I've seen myself at that weight. The lowest in my adulthood that I've ever gotten down to was 168, and that was during one of my marathon seasons. And I never got that skinny ever for a race or ever again.
I feel like that probably wasn't even healthy.
Travis, I looked like I needed to eat a couple hamburgers.
Yeah, you
like
probably did.
You would have signed up on an infomercial to send money to my household every month.
Yeah, I probably would have donated to it as well.
You probably needed to. Okay, so anyways, go back to.
So that was the Charlo, and sometimes now I look back to, and people now especially because Jamal's undefeated, like 33-0 or something like that, like big time fighter. Like, you know what? Like at the end of the day too, I try to look at the positive of everything. I'm like, maybe God was just like, hey Travis, like this kid's a beast. Like maybe let's not fight this guy. And a stubborn me is like, I want to fight everybody. If you look at my record, and I've literally fought them all, like the best in the world, Terrence Crawford's, Keith Thurman's, Chavez, all of those guys. I literally have. And maybe God was like, hey, and maybe let's set this one out for a little bit. So you know what? I don't regret anything, and now I'm here, and I'm healthy. My neck is fine. I've been good, it's 2020
Well, you
now.
always have to think in terms of this as like, let's say, I mean, a lot of things could have happened if you actually would have fought him. Maybe you would have won. Maybe it would have been
who
like,
knows? And I
all
could
of
have
a sudden,
derailed his career.
It could have been a huge thing for but then you wouldn't have met your fiance. You wouldn't have done all these other things, impacted so many people with your gym and the kind of relationships you have now. So that's what I try to think. When I look back at anything with me personally or any of my friends, it's, you have these potentials that could have happened, but God kind of knows, I think, right? Of course he does.
I think so too, because I think that every time that, it's a funny story, like every time that I think I know what I am going to do for sure, I see God out there literally laughing at me. I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, I know what you're going to do.
Yeah, we have
literally
plans.
He's pulling the strings down here.
Yeah, we have plans, and God is like, oh, okay, you got plans? Hold on, hold my bourbon.
Yeah.
I'll be down.
Hold my bourbon.
Hold my bourbon.
That's pretty good. I like that, actually.
Okay, let's hit our 5, and we have some more to talk about, but let's hit our 5. Actually, let's make it 10 coronavirus push-ups.
Oh, thanks a lot,
10,
I make a basket to get us 5 instead of 10, and you just have to go and say it again.
Because this is where I can actually be better at something during this thing, is these push-ups.
These 10 push-ups we're going to do are for the tens of followers that we have right now.
There's one for each of you. 10. Look at these cords. 10?
Yep.
All the way up. All the way up.
Drill sergeant over here. Yes, drill sergeant. Oh, see now,
Travis, when you do push-ups.
You know what I love about this, though, TH Facilities, is that we have towels. So, but go ahead, make fun of my push-ups.
When you do push-ups, come on. You got to go all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. Those halfies don't count.
That's what she said.
When I first met you and your brother, one of the biggest things you brought back from Missouri were various push-up drills, and they were very good.
Such a good push-up drill.
Oh, I'm out of breath.
Right?
I'm just kidding.
I'm not kidding, folks.
So what you guys would do is you would set up different like medicine balls, right, stacked, and then you'd have to do 10 without, 10 elevated on a medicine ball. Then you kept moving down the line and just changing the angles.
Plus, we have other ones. The other push-up drills? It's 6 different push-ups. It's the regular push-up, the extra wide, the diamonds, the Superman, the Spider-Man, and then I call it the 5-ups, but I call it something else. I don't want to say it, but it's called 5-ups. They're like military push-ups. You go down 5 equals 1. 5
Oh,
equals
yeah.
1.
No, we would do those with you guys.
Yeah, that's a beast.
So when I went through a kick like a few years ago where I was just trying to do like a ton of push-ups every day. was the Herschel Walker workout, right? All he did was push-ups
Stud.
and sit-ups.
By the way,
and
that guy's
squats.
a stud.
Yeah, he's a stud, a nice right-wing stud. So I was like stacking push-ups every day and building up to I think I got up to 300 a day, which was crazy.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
But because it's so boring, I would do, and now it wasn't 300 straight. I would do like chunks of 25,
break it up, yeah.
25, 50s. But you would change elevations. You would change like hand placement because if you change the placement, it's working out different parts of your chest. So I was doing that, but now I'm not. Now I'm drinking bourbon on a podcast. I just ate chicken wings before we started.
It was on the go.
After watching you eat that nice
Smash Burger. You know what though? Yeah. Smash Burger is a very healthy burger. It was a whole grain bun. It was their burger is. I'm telling you should Google it. Smash Burger is actually, folks. If you're gonna be weekend Trav on Saturday, you gotta go to Smash Burger.
Hey, Smash Burger.
By the way,
where's the love?
Smash Burger. What's up? You're like 5 minutes from my house.
If you happen to be one of our tens of followers or watchers or listeners, come on, Smash Burger. Come on.
Dude, step it up. Support local. Come on now. I'm local.
It's a chain, though.
Yeah, it is.
But it's supporting you as the local. I get it. Okay.
But still, I'm the local. Yeah, for sure. But
well,
anyway, so
we digress.
I feel like that's going to be the word of our podcast is we digress because we always go off on tangents.
I need a thesaurus at this point too.
But wait, can we go back and talk about Herschel Walker and how amazing he is?
We can.
Can we talk about that RNC speech that he gave?
Yeah, go for it.
Herschel Walker is the man. I think Herschel Walker is the epitome of the American dream. This guy is, if you don't know who this is, Herschel Walker, he played football for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's also, I believe he's fought in a couple of UFC fights. Am I wrong?
Not UFC, but he did
MMA
train MMA.
Fights. Okay, yeah.
And so he was kind of one of the push where we started seeing older fighters come out, but actually have success. So he trained, but he'd be in the ring, and he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily like skill wise, like he was okay, but
yeah.
like his physique.
He does body. Like 5,000 push-ups a day. He does something
nuts.
Crazy. Maybe he's 1,000. I don't know. It's something crazy. Though.
It's interesting, and we'll talk about
it's like
this.
50s.
We're going to talk about some of this a little later in the podcast about age. Now, just really being a number when it comes to some of these sports, especially boxing, especially some of the Herschel Walker MMA, whatever else. But yeah, he's the man.
Can we? I just want to talk about him a little more because
he's a cowboy.
He was a former though. We drafted him and gave up so much, and we lost so much because of him. But I still liked him. And then he went to Minnesota and didn't do much there either. But regardless, I love Herschel Walker because he epitomizes the American dream. He was a black man in this country, and he's in his 50s. So he's probably came about a lot of racist stuff.
Sure.
I'm for sure has. But what did he do? He was just like, America is there's so many opportunities here. He worked his butt off to come from nothing as a black man. Literally, he's in his 50s. Yeah. He really saw some racism. He really did. And he comes out and he talks about it. He's just like, he's like, I worked really hard, and this country is the greatest country in the world because I'm a black man and I'm up here giving a speech at the RNC. Like, that's phenomenal. Like, the fact that we even have to say a black man's giving this speech pisses me off because he's a man. And he's phenomenal. He worked his butt off to get where he's at. Extremely hardworking guy. And he's in his 50s, and he still works his butt off. And I'm talking about physically he works his butt off, but also towards his career and towards his life. He's a hard worker. Like, he's the epitome of the American dream. Like, I love it, and I love everything that he exudes to everybody because he's a very positive guy, too. Like, he's always talking about work hard, and you can truly overcome anything.
I don't care if you're black, white, red, brown, every color under the rainbow. If you work hard, it's funny. The harder you work, the luckier you get. That's kind of the thought process I always have. If you grind hard, you work hard, all of a sudden opportunities happen and you get lucky, right? Because you're working. That's why I like associating with you and other people is that you're constantly working and grinding.
Never satisfied,
awesome.
man. I'm
never satisfied. And
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. But
now there's a difference between being content and being satisfied. You can be satisfied and still work and still grind.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people get too content and get lazy and complacent.
Yeah.
So a guy like you and Herschel Walker, other people, it's never that way, and I love it. That's why I want to be around this guy. That's what I want. That's why I like doing this with him, because I try to emulate guys like that. I like to surround myself with people like that work hard. I work hard too, and I want to be around people that do that.
You know what? And that's what they say, and I think it's true. And everybody listening to this episode, like, think about this, guys. Like, it's so true when they tell you, look around you, and the top 5 people that you spend the most of your time with, that's who you are.
Yeah.
It is. And I truly, the older I've gotten, Genuinely, I believe that. I used to spend some time with some really crappy people because I'm from a small town. Like, I knew them my whole life, and I'm like, oh, you know, I know them. Like, of course, I'm going to stick around. I don't want to act like I'm too good. It's not about being too good for anybody, but it's about investing in yourself. And I found myself in Missouri in a rut where I was just surrounded around a lot of bad people. Like, a lot of people that they were not good people. But I knew them my whole life, so I was just like, you know.
Yeah.
But I look back now, and I'm like, I should have made these moves and moved to Florida so much sooner than I did. But I'm so glad that I did, because I've surrounded myself around people like you, exactly like you. You're a hard worker. You're a family man. You have a wife. You have 2 kids. But you also work your butt off, and you're a visionary. You like to dream a little bit. And if anybody knows anything about me, I'm a dreamer, man. Like, I'm a dreamer. Like, I dream high. Like I said, it's not that I'm not happy with where I'm at, but I want to go further.
Well, it's like I know you've talked about doing this for a long time, and eventually I have vision. I do have some visionary sort of elements, but I'm more of an action guy. Like, I like guys like you are more of the visionary, but eventually it's like, Travis,
let's do it.
I'm just going to show up to your house one day and we're just going to record something.
Guys, Brandon really, that's about how it went down.
I showed up on a Monday.
Yeah, that's about how it went down.
I came straight from my office. I had some crappy gear. Like, it's gotten better. Every week it gets a little better. Sound gets better, light gets better, camera angles.
Episode 10 compared to episode 1.
Oh my gosh.
Night and day.
Night and day. But I showed up, and Arena made fun of me because we were, I don't know where we were. I think it was for your birthday or something. I was at the house prior.
Yep.
And she's like, okay.
Sure,
when it happens, I'm like,
yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'm going to be there tomorrow. And it was a Monday, and I showed up. I'm like, we're just going to sit down and talk. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Now we have a good time. Now, this isn't all about just, we don't do this because we're hoping to be Joe Rogan, which would be cool, I guess. But
we're going to be cooler than Joe Rogan.
I do this because I enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun hanging out with this guy. It's fun talking about boxing. It's fun talking about bourbon, drinking. Plus, my wife is on board too. So if I can have
that's a win-win.
A social experience with people that she likes, that's a win-win.
So wait. So Amber likes me?
She does.
Yes.
She does.
Thanks, Amber. I appreciate it. Even though you're probably not listening, I do appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe one day she will.
Have you subscribed yet? Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's a good segue, because if she hasn't or she has, maybe you guys should, and you should also be checking off a like button.
Yeah, just because you're watching doesn't mean that you're subscribed.
No.
Subscribe.
No. I love seeing the views, but I also like seeing people follow us. On YouTube especially, there are different analytic things there I didn't realize.
The algorithms are a lot different, right?
This has been a learning experience for me and for you.
The producer over here, he's got all the insights.
I don't know if I have all of it. I'm learning. This is like outside of my forte, but I'm learning. So
you're doing amazing, though.
No, thank you. And they're here for you and your content and our witty banter. Though today might not be as witty.
I don't know. I feel like we have a really good banter.
Well, so let's do this. If you haven't subscribed or followed or given us a like or a comment, I don't even care if you troll us. You really should, because we're going to troll right back. We're going to hit you.
Yeah, we're going to hit you hard.
Yeah, if anything, I like the opener you had last week.
What was it?
If you're not following us, you're going to go over there and just punch them in the stomach.
Oh, yeah, I will. I will knock on your door, and I will come over there, and I will literally punch you right in the stomach. Straight shot.
So leave a comment with your address and tell us why you're not following us.
Let me know. And you know what? Maybe I'll get hopped up on this bourbon, and just come over and punch you in the stomach.
So with that, we'll
get the GoFundMe page for the bell money, but go ahead, sorry.
We're going to take our little break here. We're going to be back. We're going to talk. There's some more fights coming up here in October and November that we want to try to cover as best as possible. We're also respectful of your time.
And Mike Tyson. Sorry.
That's coming.
Sorry.
That's
Mike
coming.
Tyson.
Well, not on air with it. Well, maybe he is.
Mike Tyson.
That's the cliffhanger. Maybe he is. So
Mike Tyson.
We'll be back. Hit the follow, the like, or he's going to punch you in the stomach.
See these hands? They've done some damage.
But
here's the damage they've done, is this.
See you in about 10 seconds. And this time. Travis, we're back. Oh, sorry.
How dare you?
You feel
safe? You can't tell right now, but I'm scowling at you.
I can tell.
I'm not smiling.
Safe? Do you feel safe?
No.
Okay.
I need my bourbon, Brandon. I need this good bourbon.
All right, so here is what we're drinking this week, folks. We're drinking Woodford Reserve. I know it's a pretty well-known bourbon and price point very attractive as well for the quality you get. We highly recommend this. We're going to be honest with you. If we have one that's bad, we're going to tell you. We've had one or two that were bad early on, but this is pretty good here. So this is Distiller Select Woodford Reserve. There's my camera angle. There we go. And Travis, I really hope by the time we are finished discussing boxing and other topics that this is gone. All the brown stuff's gone. So we are drinking it. We're enjoying it. Thank you to, well, actually, no, you got it. Thanks to nobody.
Wait, no, I'm nobody now?
Not you, but
Oh,
listen.
man.
If you want us to talk about specifics with regard to a bourbon, maybe you like it, maybe it's something that you actually distill, I don't know, provide it.
Guys, if you send us a bourbon to drink and try, as long as it's as long as it's sealed and I know they haven't touched it, I'll punch you in the stomach if you
I don't
touch
care
it.
if it comes out of your bathtub. I'll probably still drink it.
Brandon, if it's brown, flush it down. But
Good point. Well,
But anyway, come on, guys. If you guys want us to try, because we're brand new. This is episode 10. We're brand new at this stuff. So if you actually have, every week me and Brandon are texting back and forth, and we're like, hey, what are we going to drink this week? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's just find something. So if you have an option for us, send it to us. We'll give you a shout out. We'll talk about it.
I'd say so far we've had some good stuff. Like
I think so.
Sometimes provided by friends of ours, but other
Yep.
times, I mean, we're trying not to drink the junky stuff. I mean, you can tell. You can tell.
You
if
can.
it's,
I wouldn't say I'm a cheapskate, but I am frugal. I don't like to waste money. So with that being said, though, I'm finding out with bourbon that the more expensive it is, the better it really is. Truthfully.
Yes and no. It really depends on your palate. You could stay somewhat in the middle shelf. And
Brandon, Costco, Kirkland's.
no, that is not good
Okay,
stuff.
exactly.
Okay, so last week, if you watched any of our videos or our podcast last week, we had finished the one we were drinking yesterday. I can't remember the Hill. Was it Hillstone? It's not Hillstone.
I forgot.
It was
And
so
it was
good.
a really good
It was
stuff.
so good. We forgot the name, but it's very
It
good. That
actually
one
was the
good.
best we've had. I think it was the best we've had, honestly.
When we ran out of that, I actually pulled in just something else that Travis had, and it was this stupid.
Why you got to put that on me?
Because it was yours.
was just laying
I'm
around.
I'm not leading them in the wrong path. It was some Kirkland. It was the Costco brand.
It was Kirkland.
That was brown rubbing alcohol. I
If
said
it's
it.
brown, flush it down.
I may have said it. I don't know if I did. It was butt juice.
Oh, you did.
It tasted
you might
like
have
butt
said it.
juice.
I was looking at you. As
I don't
you took
know
a
what butt
drink.
juice tastes like, but I'm assuming that's what it is.
That's actually a valid point. I was getting ready to ask you. How
Well,
did you know what that tastes like?
the words came out of my mouth, and I couldn't pull them back in, so I had to, I had to put a little addendum to that. It didn't taste very good.
Yeah.
So I hope if you had any weeds in your front yard that you just poured it on that to kill the weeds.
No, I still have it because I was waiting to hold it for you.
Oh,
I
thanks.
thought you liked it.
Thank you so much.
Wait, you already had a birthday.
Well, to my
but what's
point,
coming up? Christmas? It's
Yeah.
going to be your Christmas present.
To my point, if you saw on the angles of the videos, and if I had like a distorted look on my face, it wasn't because Travis was spewing some verbal diarrhea. It was because it tasted like diarrhea.
And if you see me looking at him a couple times, like, I don't have to look away because he took a drink and I was like, oh, I can't respond because it's on me now.
Anywho, we digress. Once again, using the word digress. I need a thesaurus. So either get us a thesaurus, or I could use the internet, I guess.
I mean, because everything on the internet is true, though, so you should use
But
that.
I'm sure I could find a synonym for digress.
Let's just change the subject.
I know. Now we're really falling apart here. So anyways.
Wait, where do we end at? Where do we? But we began
Well, we'll get
with
there.
that.
We're going to begin with this and
Okay.
end with this part. Woodford Reserve, for you bourbon drinkers out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's
Pretty
very
solid.
good. It's a middle price point anyways, so you're not going to break your budget, and it's quality. And that's what you want. You want something that's from a budget standpoint, it's not going to kill you, but you want to spend some money because you want a good flavor. That's got a good flavor.
I think I was between $30 and $40,
Yeah.
maybe a little more, but it was between that range.
Yeah, and on top, so for me and my taste, I like it. With this one specifically, I prefer it to for the ice to melt a little bit into it. I think it opens up the sweetness of it. So.
And I actually agree with that, Brandon. I'm not a very big bourbon guy, but I've found out
You
through
are.
This
is 10 weeks of bourbon,
I know.
dude.
Maybe I'm getting
We
the
had
hang of
rye
it
last
because
week. It was rye last week, but
Sure.
still.
and that's what I'm finding out that I actually do like. But this, I didn't like it when we first poured it and I drank it. But then when the ice melted a little bit, I was like, oh, this is pretty good.
And you know what? You know what kind of guy you also are? You're a boxing guy. So here's what I'm going to do, because my mind is going in many different directions.
I like it.
I brought something, and I forgot to have it on the table for us. Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. This is new. This is new. I don't know what this is.
Weekend Travis wants this, but what I want you to do while I step away for just a quick second, we have some fights then coming up. We talked about September. There's plenty of other fights, but those are the ones we wanted to highlight before the break. Now we want to move into October. There's a few coming up. What I'll mention is on October 17th, we have Lomachenko and Lopez on ESPN. So Travis.
It's hot. That's a hot one.
Talk about the hot one. I'll be back in just a sec.
That's what he said.
We're going to flip to this camera angle over here.
God bless America, guys. God bless America right there.
Over here. And I'll be right back, but please start talking. I'm going to have such a connection with you. I know what you're going to say.
But wait, what am I supposed to talk about?
I told you.
I feel lost without you. You're like my missing...
Just sit there and do hand puppets then for the camera.
Do you want me to shoot hoops again? Because I've been really good at that.
Dude, you want to really ruin the percentage?
It's money.
2 for 2.
Nope. I'm going to... You know what?
Within the week.
I'm going to retire undefeated right now.
Keep in mind, this is Saturday. We recorded the last one on Monday.
I'm
Within
2 for
the week, you're 2
for 2. Should I? You know what? Next week, you're shooting. No, I don't care. I want to be 2 for 2 for a couple of weeks.
There's a reason why I have a football guy on my table.
Oh my goodness!
And not
you had to bring up this stupid agreement.
October
Okay, I'm going to talk about
17th,
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko. I got a surprise for you, and it's perfect for Weekend Trav.
Oh, this is awesome. You know what? By the way, I love Weekend Trav, guys. Weekend Trav's a fun guy for sure. But Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez is a blockbuster fight. Like literally. This fight has been in the making for just like a little bit. And then coronavirus. Oh, Brandon didn't hear it, but I said coronavirus, guys. Oh, I just said it twice. 10 push-ups when he gets back. But, so, Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko. I have not made my official prediction, but right off the bat, I did say that I was leaning more towards Lomachenko. And I still am because there's not really enough that's happened. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think that Lomachenko is too much for Lopez right now. However, it's still early, guys. This fight isn't happening until October. So once these training camps start to really heat up and the sparring sessions start to really heat up, I'm going to get some insider knowledge, and I will give it to you guys for the insider knowledge on the Lomachenko versus Lopez because that is a blockbuster fight. However, what's really cool about that fight is, you know how I talk about fights that they're trying to make happen?
We do.
Guess who is fighting the week after Lomachenko?
Well, let's talk about that. So October 24th, Travis, who is fighting after Lomachenko? We have
Gervonta Tank Davis.
I wrote the name wrong. Gervonta Davis.
And he is promoted and kind of trained halfway by Floyd Mayweather.
True. And he's fighting Leo Santa Cruz, and that will be on Showtime pay-per-view.
And Santa Cruz has only lost one time. He's like 36-1. His only loss was to Carl Frampton, who's undefeated. Carl Frampton can straight fight as well.
The common thread I'm seeing here on the fights that we talked about before break and even this, yes, it seems like promoters are trying to set something up, tease something up for some of these main guys, but the opponents are quality. It's
very quality.
It's not just some toss away, some guy that has 4 or 5 losses, a couple draws, whatever.
Yep.
These are guys that 1 loss maybe, no losses.
Yep. Santa Cruz is a blockbuster dude. Like, he's a blockbuster guy. He's a tough Mexican that just comes and brings it every single time.
Viva Mexico.
Viva Mexico. A
quarter of me just did a jumping jack.
Don't hurt your neck, though.
No, because, the doctor would misdiagnose if I went to Missouri.
Oh, my goodness. Now you're talking bad about Missouri? We got problems.
That's where...
You know we're in a boxing gym.
Should we ask about your medical report?
I am going to go punch somebody straight in the stomach, and it might be him.
If
you guys have watched, we've got a still video. I did punch him in the stomach.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
He keeps saying that, but you know what? Maybe one of these episodes, we're going to punch him in the stomach.
So what I'll do is I'll chop that up, and I'm going to put mine versus yours side by side.
Crap.
Now, what I will say, yes, my birthday, you went easy on me.
Oh, yeah, but you made it look like I went hard. You did
Hollywood,
me hitting it, and I swung really hard, but because I'm very, very controlled, I pulled it back right at the very end.
Hollywood, bro.
And I touched
of course it made it look good.
You did. That's why you're the producer.
On your birthday,
Brandon's he's a great producer.
On your birthday, I swung hard, but because you had the big pad on.
That pad is right there. Can you see? Wait, right behind Brandon. Right behind you. That's the pad. Thank you. By the way, thank you, Title Boxing. Title Boxing, You're phenomenal.
If you haven't noticed, Title Boxing, over there, Title Boxing. You can probably see it.
I mean, guys, I love Title Boxing, and that's the truth. And you know why I love Title Boxing? Because it's one of the best boxing distributors in the United States of America. And also, I have to give a major shout-out because I do love Title, but you know who I love more is Doug Ward with Title. The guy's phenomenal. I've known the guy since I was about 10 years old. So I've known him a long time. He's a true boxing guy. And that's why I love Title, because a lot of these big-time boxing distributors that make boxing equipment, they're not boxing guys. They're advertisers. They're marketers. Doug's a boxing guy. That's why I love Doug. And Doug knows that. Like, everything I'm saying right here, guys, I've said to Doug, and Doug knows that. Doug's a boxing guy. And that's why I love Title Boxing, because it's supported and ran by a boxing guy. So if you're a professional boxer or a competitive boxer, you got to go with Title, man. Title's the legit, true people.
And out of pure transparency, we are not sponsored by Title. We receive no compensation from Title. We've just both used their products, and they are second to none, really, in my opinion.
I mean, they really are. I
I've
love
used
Title.
different things. I've used Venom. I've used Title.
That's
I've
right.
used
You have
other
Title
ones.
gloves, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've
And Title also sells Venom gloves as well.
Yeah.
Title sells all of that. So like Title's, I mean, guys, TitleBoxing.com.
Well, they listen to the fighters. Their design on the material, on the equipment, they listen to fighters as well. It's not just the science; it's also the fighters. And anyways, so what you also do love, Weekend Trav. I know you like a weekend drink. This tends to be our weekend drink because of the podcast. But I got something very manly for us this week.
We just talked about this, didn't we, yesterday?
Yeah, we did.
With my man Steve. We talked about this with Steve. I don't know why you're showing that so close. Oh, there it is. Oh, my gosh.
Bud Light Seltzer,
I guess we have to drink this, don't we?
What's your favorite flavor, mango or black cherry?
Oh, mango. Sorry,
Perfect. My favorite's black cherry.
I had to say mango.
My favorite's black cherry. So,
Oh, well, that's very good of you.
that's
very equal.
This is
of
a
you.
good beach beverage, Travis.
All right, let's pop it.
I don't
Let's
know.
pop it up.
Ooh, I don't know how many man points are on my card that I lost.
Your card has been revoked a long time ago, so you're not losing any more points. It's been revoked.
Good point. Well, I've been married how long?
Exactly. That's why it's revoked. How long have you been married?
16 years.
Well, you've been
bliss.
you've been revoked for 16 years.
Oh yeah, no, I know what's in a jar on my mantle.
It's not on your mantle. It's on her mantle.
Oh, that's true. Everything's hers.
Yes.
Yeah, those two fleshy wads in a jar.
All right.
I didn't say what they were.
Let's have a sip. No, I'm just kidding. It's really
Yeah.
good. It's actually pretty solid.
It was in my pocket for 5 minutes.
Listen, man, the things that's come out of your pocket.
Okay, so Weekend Trap.
I digress.
We're now double fisting. We've reached a new low in our podcast history.
A new low? I feel like this is
A new high.
All right.
We
There
reached
you
a new
go.
high. So we talked the Lopez-Lomachenko fight on the 17th. We had Davis as well as Leo Santa Cruz. That's on the 24th. This is all in October. Once again, there's other fights. There's other fights on Saturdays and Sundays and Fridays, for that matter, throughout the month. Those are the two we wanted to touch over and talk a little bit more about, which we probably will as the weeks progress in September a bit more. But let's pivot once again and move to November, the month of thanks.
What's in November?
Thanksgiving, bro.
No. But boxing wise, what's in November?
Oh, I can't get beyond Thanksgiving.
I knew Thanksgiving was in November. I'm American.
When you actually look at it, so
America.
when you look at it, that's like the one unique holiday that I think almost every American will celebrate. Think about it. There's some Americans.
Yeah, because what's more than American than football and Thanksgiving?
Well, I don't know. Do we add football right now? I don't know. But Thanksgiving, we like to eat, but we're giving thanks. We're giving thanks for our blessings. We're giving thanks for the people around us. And sometimes we look at the people around us and we say, I would be thankful if you went away.
Yeah, like the Green Bay Packers.
They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
But I forgot to tell you, though, by the way, while you were gone, I have to be honest, the viewers heard it. I said coronavirus twice. Now I've said it 3 times. That's 15 push-ups.
So that's the 15. So not only have I done 10, that's the 15. Then I got to challenge somebody today for the extra 25. You know who I'm challenging? Now,
if you challenge me, I've already done them.
no,
so.
I'm not going to challenge you. No, you haven't
Dang
done them.
it.
So I've been doing been challenging a few ladies on this for the past few days. I'm going to continue that. I think she might have a bum shoulder or something, but I'm going to do a separate video on my Facebook page Tiffany Taylor, an up-and-coming amateur boxer in Florida.
Yeah.
You're getting my PTSD challenge today. I've already challenged your husband, Elliot, back early on, but you're getting this one. If you can't do the push-ups, well, then, I don't know. You have to do jackknife sit-ups.
First of all, who can't do the push-ups?
Well, I think she has a bum shoulder. I think something happened, or her back or something like that.
No, I don't know, because I saw Tiffany working out.
But do the push-ups. 25.
Tiffany
It goes
working
to
out.
you. I'm doing the 10 or 15?
No, we got
15.
I said it twice while you were gone, and then I just said it again. Stupid C word.
Stupid Travis.
Stupid Travis. Hey, wait. Since this is in honor of the C word, should we do it with the masks?
Hold on. Yeah.
You want us to do it with the masks?
Watch how bad the breathing
We're going to
is.
hyperventilate.
Dude, it's tough, man.
Guys, we're going to
Dude,
hyperventilate.
hey, I'm one of the assistant coaches for my son's football team. Mm-hmm. We have to be out there outside in a mask. It is rough.
First of all, you already heard my story last week about the whole mask. I had to do this. By the way, fans, look at this. Look, you guys, it's muffled, but look. I wore my mask like this. USA Boxing kicked me out of a locker room. So I'm saying this because it's kind of to their credit, because we're having boxing, so I'm happy. They were very strict. Look, they kicked me out of the locker room because I did this. I just, really shortly, I was like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, Travis.
So I did this. And they kicked me out.
Because you need to save lives. You need to save the world. Cover your nose.
Blah, blah, blah.
All right, so
oh, sorry.
I'm gonna go,
all I heard was blah, blah, blah.
Put this on.
15? And don't yell at me, Brandon. Hey, everybody.
He tried. He tried to beat me.
I did my best wearing the mask, too. Sorry.
It actually restricts your breathing a lot. It's tough.
A lot.
You wouldn't think so, but... Okay, Travis. We were talking November.
Should we take a brief time out? Cut me, Mick. Cut me, Mick. Okay, so...
Good Lord. All over my mask. What am I supposed to do with this now?
Throw it in the trash, where it belongs.
Why? What's wrong with it? Oh, because it's a mask.
Oh, it's got America on it, though. So
It's got an
cool.
American
I did not
flag,
see that American flag.
And it's got guns on it.
How much more American can you get with guns and the flag?
I'm sorry, but when I walk in the door, you think that already. How can you not get more American than that guy? I mean...
OMG.
I will not comply. That's what my hat says.
That's you're so American.
Don't ruin my Second Amendment. Dude, it's all over my notes. I don't even know what to talk about.
That's an omen that we don't need to be drinking Bud Light Seltzer. We do. It's only on that part of your note. Oh, okay, we got a little bit over there.
It's
because
fine.
you just slammed it. It was fine over here.
It's fine. We're talking about November.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, producer.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Thank you.
I'll give you grace. It's an element. See, we need forgiveness in our world and country more and more.
You know what? I'm so glad that you said that, because
this is a good representation of that.
We all deserve grace. At the end of the day, none of us are perfect. We're all sinners.
Listen, you spilt Bud Light Seltzer on my mask. I forgive you. Somebody else burns down someone's business. Maybe they forgive them. Well, it's a little tougher.
Brandon, wait, but do you forgive them for
I don't
burning
know.
down your business?
Do you think the people in Portland, since we're on day 100 of them setting their own city on fire, do you think that there's a lot of forgiveness going on over there?
I want to pose this to people. If somebody came down here and burned down TH boxing facility, it would be very hard for me to forgive him, because you know what I would do? I would knock on the door and I would punch them straight in the stomach.
First of all, I don't think they'd make it very far here. I think we're both very well self-protected.
We know how to protect ourselves. So immediately they would get punched in the stomach.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight shot.
All right.
Right to the baby maker.
So in lack of a thesaurus word for digress, we digress. And we're talking November. We're talking about a couple big fights that we wanted to mention. We mentioned one in the past, and we actually mentioned both in the past, but we're going to highlight November 21st. We have Errol Spence and going against Garcia, and that will be on Fox pay-per-view. Let's chat about that.
OMG. We've alluded to this a couple different times, but it deserves to be talked about all the way up until this fight happens, because Errol Spence is coming back from, oh my gosh, like I don't even know how long he's been off. Did we have the official stat? It's over a year. He got in a car wreck, and I believe it's been over a year, and he's going to fight Danny Garcia, who is a multiple world champion and a stud. Danny Garcia is a stud. I think that the old Errol Spence would have beat Danny Garcia, but
it smells like black cherry.
But no, it's mango. I spilled mango.
Oh, it was mango. That's what it smelled.
Oh my gosh, now you're lying to the public. We're supposed to be telling the truth here, and now you're lying to the public.
Maybe they both smell the same.
It's mango, Brandon. It's not black cherry. Smell my mango.
Right. You're right. You're 100% correct.
Oh, guess what? Nope. Yep. Now I got Corona.
I breathed it in. I didn't breathe on it.
I don't know. I don't trust you.
I don't have the big C.
Are you sure?
And you only said Corona, right?
Yeah, but it's the C word.
The whole thing is the C word.
Yeah, but we were talking about it. I think we have 5.
Travis.
I think we have 5 more.
We will do that at the end.
Okay.
Goodness gracious. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. What are we talking about?
I think Errol Spence should win.
Okay.
However, I've said this multiple times, and I will stick to my guns because I've said it. It's out there because you can go back and look on our YouTube channel, which is, by the way, Weighing In with Travis Harden. If you haven't subscribed, you need to subscribe.
Or else he's going to punch you in the stomach.
And remember, Brandon, I make people money if they listen to my picks. No, you're supposed to say what you do not. You're supposed to.
I was waiting. I know what I'm supposed to say.
Okay, I'm done talking now.
Okay, so if you're listening to us and you're hearing this voice and you're hearing his voice and you're watching this video and he says that we're going to win you money, that's not a guarantee. First of all, there's no guarantee in life. Death and taxes is it. Travis, now he has a very good record at calling fights, but if he mentions something, that does not mean that you're necessarily going to win money if you put money on the fight. Chances are, maybe.
Okay, see, that's why I love this guy, because I'm the dreamer, and sometimes he has to bring me back down to reality.
First of all, I need to cover our butts is what I need to do.
I mean, we got nice butts, though.
Yeah, but with these...
Why would you want to cover our butts? They're nice.
But with...
I heard that
I don't have a lot of...
I heard that sex sells, so I'm about to show my butt.
That shirt is neon sex right now. Oh, boy.
If you guys are just listening to us on Spotify, I was just dancing.
Yeah, he was. I'm sorry. I always forget when we're talking that sometimes we talk like they can see us all the time, but some people...
But if they're listening on Spotify, then you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I know that we're on Spotify as well, but you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel because of the video. You get to see all of this. You got to subscribe.
Listen, last week we were thanking people as they were actually following. Our 10s blew up like 5.
It did. It blew up to like... I want to stick to the 10s, but I think it was almost the 15s.
That's like 15% increase.
Dude, we have to like start talking about we're just slowly getting better.
But you know what else we need to talk about?
What?
Errol Spence, Danny Garcia.
Okay, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. Errol Spence right now. Again, I'm going to give you guys my advice on my takes is that, just like I said on Lomachenko's fight and Teofimo Lopez, I will know more info the closer it gets, because you can accurately predict fights if you know what's going on in the fighters' camps. And I'm a professional boxer for 16 years, amateur 14. I got 30 years in the game. So what I'm saying is I will find out what's going on in those camps, and I will definitely give you an accurate pick. However, right now, if the Errol Spence that we know is even 80% to 85%, I think he still wins. But what I'm really saying for all the boxing fans is you got to watch that fight, because that fight, I'm watching it. It's going to be a fight that I have to tune into. I'm going to watch closely because Errol Spence he definitely has the making to be the next big superstar of boxing. So I'm going to be watching it. However, he got in a car wreck last year in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, something like that. He was young, dumb, having some fun, which happens. Everybody, we can't judge these people, by the way, because we all deserve grace.
And we've all been young and dumb and done a lot of things.
But we haven't all been young, dumb, and millionaires.
Millionaires, no.
So that's why I say that you can judge these guys all you want, but let me look at everybody here, and you guys should look in the mirror and answer this to yourselves. What would you do if you were a multimillionaire?
Take the plank out of your eye first. All right, so that's on the 21st. I know for a fact as we approach the 21st, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But the big one on the calendar.
The big one.
Which it moved, but now it is now on the November 28th, which is probably Thanksgiving weekend. I think it is. Mm-hmm. Usually Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of the month, so I'm assuming that's what it is. We have Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson.
Why'd you have to say that one first?
I thought that was the big fight. Well, they're small. But
That's not the big fight.
Oh. Mike Tyson and Roy
Iron
Jones
Mike
Jr.
Tyson, bro. My gosh. You led with Jake Paul?
Yeah, well, he's making a name for himself being in these riots and stuff. Why not? So this is on Triller. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's interesting. I think it's the new competitor to TikTok because there's a Chinese conspiracy with TikTok. But we're talking about Mike Tyson.
Is it a conspiracy if it's true?
I don't know.
Hey, we're about to get banned by YouTube. Sorry, don't subscribe to our YouTube channel anymore.
There's part of me that thinks there is some sort of a shadow ban going on with some stuff.
Dude, I think so.
With our personal content and this content.
I actually do think so because I've posted, so on my Facebook personal page, I've posted our stuff. I have 5,000 followers. No.
And like 10 see it.
And I have 5,000 followers plus, so on Facebook, they limit you. I can't have more than 5,000 friends on Facebook. So I also have like 800 and something people who follow.
Yeah.
So we're almost 6,000. We get the tens of likes.
Makes no sense, right?
We're getting banned. We're getting shadow banned.
It's called shadow banned.
That's the new word, right? Shadow banned. We're getting shadow banned.
Just because some of our principles are more conservative than others, anyways.
Are we openly admitting that now that our principles are conservative?
I think people know
by now. Have we admitted that?
Listen.
Because I haven't ever came out and 100%
I'm willing
said
to
that.
I'm willing to hear every side of every story. I have my own beliefs. That's okay. I could sit across the table from someone that does not believe what I believe and have a conversation with them and have a drink with them, and it's cool. Until they tell me like they hate the Packers so badly or they're a Vikings fan, then I don't know.
I hate the Packers.
I can handle that because you're not a Vikings fan.
Not at all.
Okay, well, that's good.
You know why I don't like the Vikings? Because they stole Herschel Walker from us.
So we're talking about a generation ago. Okay.
Like 2 generations probably.
That was like our last title too. It felt like a generation ago. I saw a photo the other day. One of my best friends of this world, which today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Armando. There's a photo of us holding our kids at the time when the night the Packers won their Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers against the Steelers. That was a lifetime ago. Literally my son's lifetime ago.
Who is that guy? What is his name again?
A-Rod. Listen, A-Rod, call me, bro. I know the Danica thing is messing you up. Call me.
Alex Rodriguez? Is that who?
No, Aaron.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Dude, text me. I know the Danica thing has broken you up. Just chat with me.
Yeah, please chat with him. And then call me, and then I will put you in your place.
Mike Tyson.
It was a catch.
Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. I listened to Mike Tyson this morning. I don't know if it was from earlier this week or last week. He was on with Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I think it was this week.
And it was interesting. So I don't think we have enough time to dive into that. Maybe as we get closer into the fight, we should.
But can you highlight like one massive thing that he said? It was really weird.
That when he gets starting to get amped up for a fight, it's almost orgasmic when he thinks about how he's going to hurt someone.
Yes,
that's Iron Mike, bro.
Exactly
that's what he does.
Was talking about. Iron Mike.
But what I will say, you can hear as he talks, his philosophy and his mental state is so much different than it was back in his prime, right? I mean, he mentioned like his wife so many times and just
which one? He's like
his current.
Okay.
Is the peace and calm and kind of the way he views these things. The fact that he's taking this fight not because of the money, because unless it's sponsor dollars.
No, he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing okay, but it's all for charity anyways.
Yeah, that's what people are not realizing because people told me when they found out that Mike Tyson was fighting Roy Jones, they were like, oh my God, does he need money that bad? That really angers me when people talk about boxers because just because the boxer is pursuing his passion still, they're like, oh, he must need money. Like, no, shut up. Like, it's an exhibition and Tyson's doing okay still.
Don't hate, celebrate.
Tyson's doing okay still.
Yeah.
Exactly. That should be our motto. Don't hate, celebrate. But you actually, if you want to hate us, but we'll hate you back.
So he broke down a lot of, and Joe Rogan's good at this stuff, just kind of talking and questioning and opening up the guest. So he was talking a lot about kind of where his training is, where it started when he finally decided that he wanted to do something because he was just being lazy, and his wife like told him, get on the treadmill for 15 minutes every day. Do something. He's like, and he even said I was getting fat.
He was getting
out of
fat.
shape.
He was. And I don't want to fat shame because I know that's
Yeah.
politically incorrect, but Mike was getting fat.
So he says his
And unhealthy. That's what nobody wants to talk about is that fat, I'm not fat shaming. He got big
Yeah.
and unhealthy.
So he, well, I mean, smoking pot and eating is going to do that to you.
Well,
Munchies, bro.
there's many people out there that would say that smoking weed is probably not that
Well,
unhealthy.
not when
I'm
they-
not one of those, but
not when you go and eat a bunch of cheeseburgers
there
after.
you go.
So, anyways, he had mentioned that his wife tried to get him onto the treadmill and exercise 15 minutes a day. He's like, very quickly, that 15 minutes became like 2 hours.
That's awesome, though. That's the professional athlete in him. We're
And then-
crazy.
And then before he knew it, I think it was his brother or his brother-in-law or somebody was calling him saying, "Hey, they want to pay you $40 million to fight Bob Sapp," which, if you don't know who that is, that's a
I don't know who that is. Who the heck is Bob Sapp, bro?
so old school MMA / kickboxer from way back in the day. He was a big heavyweight, maxed out at one point. I think 375 maybe is bigger, but he
Dios
wasn't fat.
mío.
He was just giant and huge and jacked.
You said he had abs.
He had abs as a big dude. Now, guys like that get gassed quickly, so I've seen some fights where it's like, oh my gosh, these guys are just swinging for the
Yeah.
fences, and it was a kickboxing or an MMA fight. But, dude, this guy was just a monster. So he actually ran through some of that, didn't work out, then it was somebody else, and eventually became Roy Jones Jr. And,
Who is that's the first guy I ever started loving in professional boxing.
And it developed not because of any animosity or anything like that. They just kind of laid it before Tyson. He's like, I mean, yeah, I guess. That might make some sense. And then he said before I knew it, Roy had signed the contract. And then I looked at him like, okay, well, I'll sign the contract too.
Well, let's do this.
It wasn't even it. It just kind of came about. And then obviously they moved the date. But once again, it's for charity. The other card is stacked with
Don't say it's stacked and then say Jake
Nate
Paul.
Robinson. He won 2 dunk contests, man. He's fighting Jake Paul.
He's a basketball player.
Okay, well, there's some other stuff. So, but he did mention, and I didn't know this part, is that it's partially to advertise or at least be a segue into this new Legends sort of league, this Legends sports situation. And he mentioned like Billie
That's not
Jean.
just boxing, though, right?
No, other sports. So he mentioned like decades ago when it was like Billie Jean King, playing against a guy. So
yeah, that was a thing.
So they're looking to branch off into other sports and have sort of exhibitions like this where it shows, you know what, sports medicine and science has come such a long way. A 50-year-old, a 60-year-old in some cases, isn't the same as it was a few decades ago.
Yep.
And so they can compete. And it's not that they're just doing it to go out there and have a good time and show that they're not like losers. It's that, no, we're competitive.
We're still there.
We're still there.
Dude, speaking of that, it's crazy because I think it's a good concept because you said Billie Jean King. I love it because about 5 years ago, I got to watch John McEnroe play Andre Agassi.
Johnny Mac.
5 years ago. And guess what happened? I got to drink a beer with Johnny Mac after that in New York.
I just watched Mr. Deeds.
Yes!
Movie.
That's why I brought it up because Mr. Deeds is Adam Sandler and Johnny Mac. They had a night out on the town.
Yep.
I brought that up to him, dude. I was like, we're going to have a night out in New York. Like, let's have this beer. He's like, if we have more than one beer, we might have that. I was like, I just need one beer.
He didn't jump over a car like he did in Mr. Deeds?
No, if we'd have had more than one, we would have. But as you know, I'm a lightweight. I can't drink much more than that.
Well, dude, you're double fisting right now with a nice bourbon and a Bud Light seltzer.
Brandon, you
Thanks,
said
Bud
double.
Light.
You said double fisting, and this is supposed to be PG.
Well, I don't know. Your mind is in the gutter. Get it out of the gutter, Travis. So we were talking Tyson Jones Jr. That's going to be on November 28th. Trust me, as we get closer to that, we're going to talk more and more about that. That's going to be on Triller.
Which is different.
Triller is
It's new age America.
From what I understand,
World.
it's the app that's currently trying to compete with TikTok, as there's been some controversy with that. And so we've seen a lot of athletes and entertainers get on this Triller app to promote themselves, music videos, things like that. So there's going to be a pay-per-view connection there as well, I believe.
Should we join Triller? Weighing in with Travis Hartman? Is that not on Triller?
You aren't already?
No.
Oh.
I'm like, I guess we're old. I don't know what Triller is.
I am old, man.
I don't know what Triller is.
Well, according to Mike Tyson, I'm not old.
Yeah, right? That's why,
But
thank God for these guys.
But
Age is just a number, brother.
This is not a common practice amongst podcasts, but I recommend highly. Listen to that podcast from Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience, Mike Tyson, the most recent one, because it's interesting, because Mike Tyson talks about how his body was this was killing him from the start. He's finally finding his groove. You know, there was a clip where he's helping throw gloves with an MMA fighter back from a few months ago. He says, after I did that was my first day trying to get back into the gym.
Age is just a number, bro.
No, he said I was in my bed for a week after doing that.
But that's because Mike Tyson was also probably like 50 pounds overweight.
He was swinging. And he's like, my sciatica was all messed up. He's like, dude, I couldn't get out of bed for a week. So the video is impressive.
That's
like
funny.
when you see it, and you've probably seen it before.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I need to find it. Maybe I don't know. If I'll clip it in this.
The video of him like.
He was just throwing. It was an MMA fight. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've only seen him catching on the mitts. That's it. I haven't seen
this is when he was throwing with this guy.
That's funny.
And
that's really funny.
He's like, I was in bed for a week.
Because boxing is hard, man.
But at his age, here's what he's doing. His mind is open to other therapies. He's doing cryo. He's doing all sorts of stem cell. He's doing all these things, and probably makes it easy because it's on the he's on the exhibition level.
I'm going to give you a Talladega Nights Will Ferrell quote. With his high level of income, there's nothing wrong with. He could probably live to 100, 132 years old because he's got a high level of income. He can afford all that crazy stuff. Yeah. He can take care of his body. So he's only 50. Dude, he's going to live to like 130. With his high level of income, he's good. So 50 is the new 19.
I love listening to him. I don't know.
Because he's wacky and wild.
He's just himself. That's the one thing I love is that he's not trying to be anything else. He's just himself. Like sometimes like they would be bantering and he's like he would ask a question where Joe Rogan thinks he's joking. He's like, no, I seriously want an answer.
It's like I'm actually being serious.
Like if I'm Joe Rogan, I'm thinking, oh shoot.
See, there's
don't
something.
Punch me.
Yeah, there's something about professional athletes, and that's what I can appreciate coming from that. I never was obviously the Mike Tyson level. Nobody was, for that matter. But I fought professionally for 16 years, and I can tell you right now, that's why you have Weekend Trav. We are finally ourselves. I'm just myself, and that's why I love Mike Tyson because this guy. But genuinely, like we laugh it off. But when you're a professional boxer. Even though Tyson was a little crazy, he actually did kind of reel it in a little bit when he was fighting because he had to not do certain things and say certain things because he was trying to promote fights. So after he's retired now, I appreciate where he's coming from. Like, he's Mike Tyson. That's who he is now. And he's being free and who he is. And I actually recommend everybody, just be who you are.
He's been very honest in his whole career that even in training, when he's training for something in the gym, there might be guys that can work them pretty good in the gym. Mm-hmm. He's like, but the difference is that those kind of guys, they can't get out there with the lights, with the people out there drinking beer, yelling at you, whatever else. He's like, I can. I turn it on for that.
It's a different level. That's where it changes.
I might spar with somebody in training and even in my younger days, and they would just work me over in the ring, but they couldn't do anything once the lights are on.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up because we have something in the boxing circle that we call them gym fighters. Mm. They look phenomenal. And I'm not kidding. If anybody's listening to this and they're in the boxing circle, they know what I'm talking about. There's gym fighters. I mean, these guys look, I'm not even kidding. I've seen it multiple times. These guys, I look at this guy in the gym, him training, him even sparring, and I'm like, dude, this guy's the next guy. Like, he's the next guy. And then he has a fight.
It's the pressure.
The guy freezes. Yeah. Because that's what I'm telling everybody that, genuinely, that's why I love boxing because what it did for me was it mentally tested me. And when I can get through a professional boxing match, it's not the actual fight because it's what I do. It's natural. It's the build-up. It's the mental anguish that you go through. There's multiple times where I'm sitting there, and I know Tyson can relate to this, obviously, that you're going through so many thoughts. Like, your mind goes a million miles. Like, you're talking about the unknown. You're talking about a guy trying to kill you in the ring. Literally, people die in the boxing ring professionally. So, your mind is a million miles away, and you're just it's crazy what you go through. But the fact when you're done with that boxing match, oh my gosh. Once I get through a boxing match, I'm not kidding. That's probably why I'm a dreamer, because when I get done with a boxing match, I was like, nothing in my life will ever be as hard as that. Mm-hmm. And I genuinely believe that. And that's why I bust my butt to do whatever I do, because I know that nothing will ever in my entire life will ever be as hard as what I went through for 16, not just 16 years, 14 years as an amateur. So 30 years. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying that the mental aptitude that I went through for those 30 years, that's what brought me to where I'm at right now. And I'm telling you that it made everything else in my life it's not as hard, because I know that the mental anguish I went through and then the physical pain, the physical everything, nothing will ever compare to that.
Yeah.
It just won't.
Yeah. That's good, Travis. Wow. That was such a moment of clarity.
Sometimes that we throw that's weekend Trav, Brandon.
Weekend Trav.
That is weekend Trav.
The only follow-up I have to that with my little funny quip is, yeah, it prepared you. Just wait till you get married, bro. Then we'll ask the question, what's the hardest thing you ever had to deal with or go through?
You have 2 kids as well, so you know what? You're actually correct. So I don't know that. I'm not there, so I can't comment on that. So I have to yield to you for that.
That's the one cool thing about life is that you're always learning different lessons. Your life's always different. You know, once you think you've mastered something in your world, or you think you've reached this plateau or this height or whatever, pinnacle, I should say, there's always something else different. And you're constantly preparing for something new, but you don't know what the journey holds. That's what the cool thing. If you view life in that circumstance, then it's an adventure. Sometimes people just view it as I'm just trying to get through every day. Just trying to get through this, trying to get through that. And sometimes even, for us, there are stretches like that. You're just trying to grind through the day. For sure. But when you view it like, wow, that test, that fire I just went through is preparing me for this. Or when I'm in the middle of a mess, oh yeah, I remember that prior issue I went through, that tested me and prepared me for what I'm going through now. And I know I can get through it because of that.
That's God, man. I feel like God's testing us. He's testing us, and He's putting us through these certain circumstances to bring us to where we ultimately need to be, and that's the closer to God. But at the end of the day, He's testing us every day. Like when we go through struggles, it's obviously a struggle that we need to get through to be who we are today, because all of us, and I know we all have our own journey, but like I've went through a lot of stuff my whole life. Like, dude, I came from Osborne, Missouri, bro. Population 400. I was not supposed to box at Madison Square Garden. Granted, I got my butt kicked, but still, I wasn't even supposed to be on that stage. Population 400, Brandon. That's where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
How the heck was I supposed to fight at Madison Square Garden, where the greats like Ali fought, Mike Tyson fought?
And it's not only that; it's all the other cool stuff you've been a part of. Your journey has been very immense. And as the weeks progress, I look forward to diving into more and more of that with you. Not only just talking about the boxing calendar. Yes, we talk a little bit about everything going on September, October, November, ending with Tyson Jones Jr.
Boxing's on fire.
It's on fire. We haven't even gotten to December yet. There's some things that are still up in the air, confirmation-wise, date-wise. And then as we get closer to some of these matches we talked about, we're going to dive deeper into that, especially because the world's abuzz. When it was announced Tyson Jones Jr. was going to happen, you know how many hits? Mike Tyson says this. You know how many hits within like the first hour?
This got to be a lot. Millions, right?
2.4 billion with a B.
I thought millions. Billions?
Billions?
He said a B as in boy. Billion. No. Millions. No. It was billions.
So of course that's Mike Tyson saying that. But anyways,
Mike Tyson.
The world's on fire.
Mike Tyson.
If anything, guys like Errol Spence, guys like Lomachenko, guys like Lubin, all these people, they are the benefactor of that because that big name comes in, and then everyone's like boxing. Oh, other stuff's going on, and oh, by the way, the NBA sucks right now. The NFL we'll see in a week. I don't know. NHL, I kind of lost track of them actually playing. Major League Baseball, same thing. Are they still playing?
I don't know. I heard they took a little hiatus.
I haven't even heard. So all these other sports are dropping them all. Tennis is definitely in there. U.S. Open's going.
Yeah, that's going on right now.
Yeah, so that's awesome. But I think this is such a great opportunity for these more individual sports to just capture the lion's share of the viewership. And we appreciate that. And as a fan and as someone that watches, and you as the actual fighter and also a fan, I know you appreciate it too. So there's some cool stuff coming up through the end of the year. We are in the last third of the year, people. 2020 is almost behind us.
But you know what? I just had this conversation with somebody today. We were like, 2020's been so hard and so rough, but it's probably been one of the best years of my life. And I hate to say that because this country's gone through a lot of stuff. But for me personally, it's probably been one of the best years of my life. There's been a lot of struggles. There's been a lot of stuff going on in this world. But also, 2020 is an election year. So I feel like if you're not listening, people, you have to realize that a lot of this stuff is getting amplified because it's an election year. So please don't let it affect your mental and emotional state right now. Just know that it's going to get better. It's going to get better when the election is over. Things will slowly start to get back to normal. And then another 4 years, it'll get crazy again. But just remember that no matter what you're going through, know that God will see you through it. God saw you to it, and He's going to see you through it.
No matter what you see out there, we're in the best country in the world. I know we're very divided. It feels like divisive on a lot of things, racial issues, political issues, which tend to somewhat be intertwined. The economy's coming back. From the stuff I do for a living, trust me, that's on the way back. But our world and I should say our country feels very divided.
Yeah.
Don't let the media distort your thoughts. Think for yourselves. Find the answers. Dive in. Look at your local communities. Look at the people around you and start making the proper decisions. Mm-hmm. We personally don't care. Let's say from a voting standpoint, we personally don't care who you vote for, but make sure you vote with conviction for what you want to see the world be. Somebody that has a plan, somebody that has thoughts. And if those thoughts and plans are the direction you want to see the country go in, then definitely vote that way.
Yep.
But that's a powerful tool that we have as Americans that many other countries don't have, or it's not as clean of a system. So thank goodness that is our country, because you know what? A few hundred years ago, we decided to break away and do our own thing, and we're the United States, and we said, you know what? Screw you and screw your metric system, other than measuring our bullets. So, Travis, with that, closing thoughts.
Just love thy neighbor, man. Like I said this many times, like you alluded to it a little bit. At the end of the day, guys, if you're looking to the government or the media to change your lives, you've already failed. Oh, yeah. And what I mean by that is look at your local neighborhood, look at your neighbors, look at all the people, and figure out how you can affect them positively, because at the end of the day, it matters about the people around you. And at the end of the day, Washington, D.C. doesn't live in the same neighborhood as us. These celebrities, the 1%ers in California, the Hollywood elites, they do not live in the same neighborhood as us. However, that's all you see on the news. So just remember that at the end of the day, you are capable of changing your community one person at a time. And that's why I love what I do is I train and mentor little kids. And all the way little kids, I train 6 years old all the way to 60 years old. And I love what I do because at the end of the day, I don't teach Republican or Democrat. I don't teach that crap. That's crap at the end of the day. To me, that's crap. You know what I teach? I teach love, and I teach acceptance, and I teach tolerance. And that's what we all should know, that be tolerant of other people, even if they have a differing opinion. And that's where me and you connect, I feel like, Brandon, is we might have our own viewpoints politically, but at the end of the day, we actually care what other people think.
Sure.
And I can have a conversation with many people. I have actually really good friends that have opposing views as me, and they're like my best friends.
Yeah.
Literally, a couple houses over, one of my neighbors is one of my best friends. She has opposing views as me. But guess what? We've had like hour conversations, and they've all ended amicably. We're drinking after that. We're having fun, because at the end of the day, I am not who I vote for necessarily. I'm a good person. I'm a loving person. I'm a positive person. I'd rather bring people together. But if we're looking to the government or even the president of the United States to change our lives, you're looking at the wrong person. Because you know who you look to change your life? The man upstairs.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, he'll change your life, period. That's it. Don't look to the government.
You look at that, and then obviously you look into your own house, and that's what changes. So yes, to piggyback on some of the comments you mentioned how you train kids and how you try to instill those philosophies. Same things on my side. When I coach kids, I've coached flag football for years now.
You're raising your kid.
And it's not only my son, but the other kids out there. You are teaching them not self-reliance, but also to look at their community, their teammates. First. That's a family. And what can you do to build your family? What can you do to support your family? What can you do to better those around you? It's not about winning and losing. It's about those character traits and that philosophy that I think sticks with you for the rest of your life. You playing, being a boxer as an amateur.
Boxers don't play.
Whatever. I was thinking basketball because I know you somewhat played that basketball.
I did play basketball.
Okay, so did I.
I made 2 hoops, by the way.
Yeah, in a hoop that is made for children.
I'm a child.
I shoot on a man's hoop. Not very well. But so we both played basketball. But I remember my coaches. I remember all of that. That's the stuff that I remember that was more foundational for me in learning how to be, the person I am in my community.
Yep.
Not the wins and losses, because we had a lot of losses. I remember that. It was humbling. So, anyways, we're like really going off on.
I never looked. We can carry on with this a second. But
okay.
When I was in high school, I was a freshman. We had a new coach. I'm not even kidding you. When I tell you this story, is it true? You can go look it up. We went 1-22.
Travis, you can't look it up.
One win.
It's not even on Google.
You're actually right. You can't look that up. But there's about 8 people that can verify that story for me. So what I'm saying is that, when I went 1-22, I don't even remember ever looking to a president of the United States, or even a politician for that matter, to affect me or to change my life in a positive way. Granted, I do understand that there's policies and stuff like that that will affect our lives. I do understand that. I'm not saying that politics don't matter, because they do. But in the end, you actually can control a lot of things on your own to make this country and this world a better place. So stop looking to politicians. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. They're not going to change your life. You're going to change your life. And you know who else knows that? Herschel Walker. He changed his own life, bro.
Full circle.
Full circle, man.
You want me to tie it all together?
Tie it all together.
ELE.
I'm so glad you said that. Everybody love everybody.
That's Travis speak, and I appreciate you. So I think we're going to wrap up this episode of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. We'll be back next week for you. If you haven't already, please follow us, give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a negative, I don't care, give us a thumb down, give us anything. We are desperate for our viewers to support us. You know, shameless.
I'm not desperate.
I am.
But you better follow us, because I will come knock on your door, punch you straight in the stomach.
Yeah, well, I'm desperately drinking Bud Light Seltzer on YouTube. So anyways, we thank you for your time. Thank you so much. And we're going to close this out. That over there is Travis Hartman.
That is Brandon Waters.
Thanks for your time, guys. God bless.
God bless, guys.
Money.